Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the FBB Forum YouTube channel and Instagram page. And I want to thank you all for your continued support. I'm thrilled to welcome the beautiful IFBB Wellness Pro, Lyndsay Cozort, to the podcast. Lyndsay earned her pro card at the 2022 Masters Nationals and made her pro debut at the Shawn Ray Hawaiian Classic later that year. Lyndsay lives in Hawaii and is a training partner with the amazing Big Jane Akarapreecha, who also lives in Hawaii right now. Welcome, Lyndsay. I want to mention that you're the first wellness athlete that I've had on the podcast, and I'm really honored to meet you and have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be here, especially as the first wellness guest. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah, thank you. I'd love to get some more wellness ladies on. I've been getting more figure ladies on recently too. I'd focused when I started it on women's physique and women's bodybuilding, but I'm trying to expand and get more ladies on. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So my first few questions are about how you got started in bodybuilding, and I was wondering if you had an athletic or a sports background before you started.
I did. From the time I was very young, I played soccer for about 8 years. I did cheerleading. I was a flyer for a few years. I also did it in high school. Then I moved on to tennis. I did varsity tennis all 4 years of high school. So kind of an athletic background. Yes, my parents put me into a lot of sports. And then from there, I'd say my mid-20s, I got into bodybuilding. I had actually an ex-boyfriend that got me into it. He was very strict with his food prep, and he just did it because he loved it. He wasn't a competitor, but he taught me a
Okay.
lot of great habits, and they stayed with me after the breakup.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's funny because that turned full circle, and him and I are still friends, and he went to the first show where I won my pro card. So it was really special kind of having that person who built my foundation, who remained a friend all these years and then was able to come and see that experience. So it was really special.
That's terrific. So you said you've done 3 shows so far, right?
I've done 3 shows, yeah, and they were all back to back. So now I'm in an off phase and it feels great.
That's terrific. That's really cool. Um, I was curious in terms of uh, like role models in the sport. Do you have a fitness role model that you look up to?
Hmm, gosh. In wellness or just across the board?
Well, yeah, wellness or across the board, and either way is good.
There's so many. I do like Giselle. I think Giselle, I've watched her progress and I've been kind of keeping an eye on her because I have a lot of respect for kind of where she came from. She seems to keep a really positive attitude and, doesn't seem to be competitive with other girls. And I've watched her growth over the past year really exponentially. So I've been kind of enjoying watching her progress. It's motivating.
Oh, yeah, she's amazing too. Yeah, it is. It's great to see her. And yeah, she's a really good competitor too.
Yeah. So she's kind of one that who's inspired me lately.
That's terrific. Very cool. Now, I was curious when you first got up on stage to compete, was it kind of tough getting up on stage in a bikini? Was it kind of nerve-wracking for you?
Yes. It always is. But yeah, for me, I'm a master's competitor, so it was my 40-year milestone. I was already in pretty good shape prior to my first show and just decided, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to see
Mhm.
kind of if I could take my discipline and, my body and do this as a 40-year-old mile marker for myself. So, um, yeah, that was very, very special, my first show. And it was here in Hawaii, which is even better.
That's awesome. I bet that was great. So
Yeah.
for nationals, so you traveled all the way to Orlando, right? For nationals?
Nationals, I actually went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of nationals, but that was masters nationals. But yeah, but still, that was a long way to go to get to compete.
A long way to go, and I didn't realize how the time change can really affect the way your body responds to stress.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it could be a 5 hour or 6 hour difference depending on what time of year it is, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think traveling when you're depleted and just, getting ready to compete, I think that would be tough, especially traveling that far.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people do it, but that was my first experience, so it was pretty tough.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's not too many pro competition opportunities in Hawaii, I would think, because it is a small state.
Yeah.
hmm and you might, go over to well, there's not many opportunities in Asia to compete, so maybe go to Europe, go the other way. Um, so I was curious in terms of winning your pro card, like I bet that was a really exciting moment for you. What was that feeling like?
You know, every show I've done, I never expect to win. My first show, I didn't even know what was going on. They literally had to kind of pull me because I there's so many other women there that looked so good. So I never think I'm gonna win.
hmm
Um, my second show where I won my pro card, I didn't I knew that I gave my best. I had my best package and my progression was great, but I didn't have it in my head that I was gonna win. I was just happy to be there.
Oh, sure, I understand. Yeah. You seem like a humble person too. You're not, I'm gonna win, you're just kind of see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I think if you get stuck on a win, it really limits your potential and your
Mhm.
disappointment would be huge. So I always go in to win it, based on my hard work and my diet, but aside from that, I can't control those variables, so I just don't even think about it.
Sure. No, I understand. And I think that's a good mindset for competing too. Yeah. I was surprised, like I mentioned to you before the call, I didn't realize you were a masters competitor. I thought you were probably in early 30s is what I suspected. So,
Oh gosh, thank you. I'll be on your show just for that.
oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And bodybuilding is fountain of youth, I think, too. So that's what I found. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so when you won your pro card, you were 40 years old, is that right?
Yeah, 40.
Oh wow, very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I bet
Mhm.
that was exciting for you.
It
Um,
was special. Yeah.
oh, I bet. Yeah. Now we talked about you wanting to take a few years off to grow and be more competitive in the pro ranks. And do you feel that you're meeting those growth goals so far?
I am. It's hard when you have a lot of fluff to kind of see what you're working with. So, recently I just got a new coach and I'm kind of trying to get rid of a lot of connective tissue and see where I'm at and where I need to build and then likely do a growth phase after we see what we're working with. But
Great.
yeah, in terms of my growth, how I think I'm progressing, I can't work any harder. So I think that's working out to my benefit. I'm just loving the process. I know what I need to do. I'm doing it. And growth is you have to have patience for growth because some days I feel like, yes, I'm looking great, and other days oh, I've got a long way to go. I
I
just
understand.
got to learn how to be patient, which isn't a strong suit of mine. And
Oh,
you know, trust the long range process.
yeah. Bodybuilding is the long game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely it is. And it's um no, and I think that's smart for you to do it that way, and probably the healthier way to go too. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and my mind is definitely in a great space. I just go in and do my workouts. They're difficult. They are challenging, but I love it. You know, it's my sacred space, and I know I'm in the right place and I'm doing the right thing when I find joy in it. And that's what
Sure.
body is for me. It gives me joy.
That's terrific. That's great. Yeah, I've seen your workouts with Big Jane and that y'all are just really impressive. I mean, because y'all are pushing some heavy weights and you said you have a mat nearby to because you're going to failure, so you just need to lay down sometimes.
Yeah, that was more me in the beginning. And then Jane kind of liked the idea. She started using the mat.
That's a good idea though. Y'all are working hard too. I think it's very impressive, I think. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I finally found a great partner that no gossip, no drama, just love for fitness, love for just crushing it in the gym, and we really motivate each other. And it's we don't even talk much. It's just like we're there to work and support each other. So it's like the perfect environment to grow.
that's terrific. Yeah, she's amazing too. I'm really excited for her to compete this year. So
Yeah,
yeah, she's
Tampa, great. I can't wait to see what she comes out with.
yeah, Tampa Pro. Yeah, it's a very exciting. So yeah, it's going to be good to see her. Um, Now I was curious in terms of where do you hope to compete next, if you can say, or what year?
I'm there's nothing planned. It's just right now it's just growth, and um I'm actually just loving not having pressure of decision making. And actually, I don't think it really will be my decision. I think it'll be my coaches. Um,
Sure.
but I'm just I want to give it till I'm 43 now. I want to reassess at 45 and see where my progress takes me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Now, when you competed most recently, did the judges give you feedback on where you need to improve your physique or your presentation?
It's always the same. Every single show, this the feedback is the same. I'm too symmetrical. So
Too
my upper
symmetrical?
body, yeah, I need to dial down my upper body, or at least grow the lower body to a point where my upper body doesn't look so big. So
Oh,
a
I see.
lot of years of bodybuilding, everything, and then
Uh-huh.
to wellness and realizing, oh, I don't have to work that hard on the upper body. And in fact, I've worked so hard on the upper body all these years. Now I need to just call it quits for a while.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. And that makes sense with wellness because it is more focused on the lower body.
Yeah, just trying to keep more of a feminine upper structure, muscular, but just smaller parts. And so that's something I really have to work on.
Really? Yeah, I understand. Um, Now I was curious if you've considered moving like to figure division because I think that is more top to bottom symmetrical too.
Yeah, no, I've had that feedback a lot as well, but I really love the look of wellness.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I like that look, and I try and put myself in that arena. It's difficult because my body parts don't match, so I'm working against, but it's a challenge. I'm up for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think you have a great look and
Yeah.
you have really good abs. I think your abs are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, those it's funny. Those I have to work the least on.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah, that's just a genetic thing.
Oh, really? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, they really pop out. That's amazing. Yeah. Now I was curious when you give compete again, do you want to do masters or open or both for competitions?
I think it'd be really fun to do open.
Yeah.
That's the older me going, can I compete with younger people? But I don't know. Definitely a conversation with my coach to see where I'm at, what he thinks I could do.
That'd be nice to do open because you could win a show and then get your first Olympia qualification. That would be kind of nice.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be awesome. Yeah. I was wondering if there's any advice that you could give to up and coming amateur ladies that are or seeking to earn their pro card, and because I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but just any advice you could give to ladies who are watching.
Yeah. So some things I didn't really know until I became a pro, which I wish I would have known earlier on, is not trying to quickly rep out everything,
Hmm.
uh, not trying to go as heavy as you can and get as many reps. It's way more important to focus on slow, slow movements, time under tension, and a
Yeah.
lot of contractions and pauses. I think those really help with growth, and I found the benefit of that recently.
Hmm.
Uh, and I just wish I would have known that because I thought, oh, I'm going really heavy and my form's good. But if you're going fast trying to pump them out, you're just not giving the muscle the time it deserves to really grow and contract and get that they always say mind muscle, but I don't think people really understand uh in the beginning what that is. And if they do, that's great. I took me a while.
Sure. Was that something your new coach has kind of been teaching you?
Yeah, I started to develop that skill before, but he's actually helped as well. Just go a little slower, take your time on. I'll send him my workouts and he'll give me feedback. Still a little too fast. So that's really helpful because I think I'm going slow. And I think he's
Hmm.
gonna be like, whoa, you're doing really good in that video. So for me, it's great. I'm getting really constructive feedback.
That's terrific. That's really cool. That's good to get that feedback. And yeah, I have heard that too about just kind of slow and steady, and that really helps with the growth, and I think it prevents you from overtraining, because I've heard the overtraining can really be detrimental sometimes too.
Mm. Yeah, I did that before my pro card. I was training way too much. My body didn't have a time to, the inflammation was still high and I was still training. And it took me a while to really understand that the body needs rest. Doing more isn't going to produce more results. That just like, I couldn't get that. I thought, because, and even like, say, Arnold Schwarzenegger's new book, I was
Yeah.
listening to the new book on tape, which is great. It's super motivating. But
Yeah.
in it where he talks about how he lost his first show and his calves weren't where they needed to be or his abs weren't developed enough compared to the other guys, and so he hit the gym every single day working on those body parts 7 days a week till they came up. So even
Wow.
even hearing that, it's like, okay, well, he's doing it, so the different messages can be confusing too. What really does work? But I think everybody's body's different.
Hmm. Yeah. No, you're right. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think you have to find a coach that kind of knows your body, and knows how to the best techniques for you to grow that ideal physique, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, I was curious, you mentioned the new coach. Do you mind naming who your new coach is?
Stefan, his IG is actually Boss of Outlaw,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh yeah, he's a really good coach too. He's coached a
yeah,
lot of top people, men and women. Yeah, he's amazing.
yeah, yeah. So I've been kind of watching him with all of his Olympia people, and just he he's really well known for his conditioning, as I'm sure you know. So he just kind of blows me away, uh, his care for his clients, and I've just been keeping an eye on him, and I finally decided, okay, I need someone to check on me a little bit more weekly, and I have more of an accountability partner, which is also motivating.
That's terrific. I think that's great that you work with him. Yeah, he's like worked with probably the most conditioned woman, Sherry Priami, I think. So yeah, she's kind of queen of conditioning, I think.
Yes.
That's terrific though. That's great that you're working with him.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited.
you said it's just been a couple months now?
Uh-huh. It's been I think 2 months.
Cool.
Yeah. I lost 10 pounds the first month.
Really? Wow.
So I was a little hangry for a while, but yeah, slowly starting to break down the connective tissue and um, see where we're at. So
Wow, that's awesome. Very cool.
yeah.
And I was curious, do you have a posing coach too?
I don't yet. Yeah,
We may hire one sooner when you get closer to show.
probably. Yeah, I'm still deciding what I'm going to do there, but the practice is still in place. I definitely am going to have a posing coach. Um, I was thinking probably within the next 3 months, I was going to figure out, kind of bite the bullet and figure out what I'm going to do for that.
Okay, terrific. That's great. Very cool. I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of competition prep for you?
Just juggling work.
Hmm.
Really, that's it. I don't mind being hungry, but when you have to manage people or deal with socializing, you want to be at your best. So just
Yeah.
really focusing on stress levels and reparative care, things like that. I make a higher priority.
Okay.
Being in prep, I do regular massages, chiro, all of that stuff.
And if you don't mind me asking, where do you work or what's your career?
So currently I work at a hospital out in Hawaii called
Okay.
Queens Hospital. I work in the cardiology department. I do cardiac ultrasounds and currently um, working on building a new business.
Oh yeah. Oh, very cool. Doing the same sort of work, doing the,
Sort of work, yeah.
oh, that's great.
Thank
And
you.
you mentioned about studies too. Are you studying to get a higher degree?
So yes, it's actually just kind of a crossover right now. I'm doing ultrasounds and I want to learn new ultrasound modalities so that um, when we open our own place, we can offer all ultrasound modalities there. A long-term goal is to have a facility where I can offer ultrasound services. There's a big need in Hawaii, um, and then maybe develop it over the islands.
Work with, is this working with pregnant ladies too? Because that's, of course, ultrasounds of babies is pretty popular.
Very popular. No, so my specialty is cardiac, and then vascular would be the additive.
Okay,
So more cardio, vascularity is my
sure.
specialty.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah. You could accidentally like come across a baby though. It's like, oh, did you know you're pregnant?
Happened to me. I did medical mission work in Micronesia, and there was a woman that was pregnant and she swore she was not pregnant. And I thought, okay, she either has ascites, there's like fluid buildup in there, or she's got a baby in there. So I put the probe down there and I was like, okay, there's your baby.
Yeah, that's kind of good to know.
She's like, okay. Island people, they're just like, whatever, what comes.
I bet that was pretty cool to go to Micronesia though. I bet that was beautiful there.
Oh, it was, I was younger. I was in my, I want to say early to mid 30s, I think was when I went the first time. And we went to all four federated states of Micronesia, and they were just the most amazing, loving, sweet people. So it was really fun to go out there. And there's a lot of, I don't want to go too far into it, but there's a lot of like heart problems with the kids there. There's something called rheumatic heart disease that is pretty prevalent in that area. So there's
Really?
a
Wow.
there's a lot of sick kids there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame. Wow. Is that from
Yeah.
environmental, do you think, or more genetic?
No, it's from strep throat and not having the resources to cure it.
Oh, really?
But
Wow.
it's tough because they have to give a shot to a kid once a month, and they're little and they don't want them. And then you have problems with compliance when they become, in their junior years in high school.
Yeah.
Um, and it's something they have to be very cognizant, regular with. Otherwise, it doesn't go away and it attacks the heart valves.
Oh, really? Wow, that's terrible. Uh,
Yeah,
wow. I bet that was kind of eye-opening to see that.
it was very humbling and eye-opening, and I learned a lot from it. I,
Hmm.
I think living, in a on the mainland and here in Hawaii, and just having a small view of, okay, this is what poor looks like. This is what, but like really going somewhere where it's not about being poor or rich, but just not having access.
Yeah,
And it's
because it's
just,
so isolated.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why I really, with my future business, access is a problem for ultrasound services here in Hawaii. And
Hmm.
Um, it keeps me here in Hawaii, which I love, and it helps the community, and I love ultrasound. So
That's terrific. That's really cool. I think that's terrific. Yeah. Um, Now, I was curious in terms of training with Big Jane. How long have you trained with her? And you guys, like I mentioned earlier, seem very just collaborative and supportive of each other when you're training.
yeah, it's only been a few months. It feels like longer because we meet once a week, same time, same day, and we just go in and we crush it. But it's only been a couple months. We both have the same chiropractor, and he actually set us up.
Great.
Uh, yeah, so he showed me a picture of her on Instagram, and I saw her legs, and I was like, I I told him I want to train with that girl.
Yeah. I
We
understand.
Yeah, she wanted to train, and yeah, it just ended up being more than what we thought. We were really benefiting each other
Mm.
in terms of support and progress. So it's been a good match.
Yeah, she's so sweet. Like you said, she's not like drama or gossip. She's just really sweetie.
My kind of woman. Yeah, just in it for pure joy.
That's great. Yeah, her birthday is tomorrow too, May 6th. So,
Yeah,
and
dirty, dirty.
I love the birthday photo shoot she did recently. That was so awesome.
Yeah, she looked amazing.
Yeah, that silhouette shot of hers is like, wow, that's just really amazing. I love that.
Like
Yeah.
the thank you.
Huh?
I said, like
Oh
the
yeah,
wind.
like behind me. I know it does look like her actually. Yeah, that so I had that before she did that shot. But yeah, I know. I thought about that too. Um, Now, I was curious in terms of living in Hawaii, how long have you lived there? And do you find is there kind of a supportive bodybuilding community there, or is it just kind of small, or what's it like there?
It's both. So it's supportive, but it is very, very small. It's a very
Hmm.
small community, and it's very hard to get gym equipment shipped to Hawaii. It's
Really?
very
Hmm.
It takes a lot of time. It's very expensive. So
Hmm.
there's definitely a lot of limitations on equipment
Really? Oh.
here in Hawaii. Yeah. So the
Hmm.
community is great, very supportive and small, which is kind of has a specialness in its on its own.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's definitely like everything on an island, it's harder to get stuff. So
Yeah, I bet. I don't know if like Amazon free shipping would even apply for you guys out there.
yeah, but it's never one day, 2 days. It's usually like a week that we get our stuff from Amazon.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I bet it takes longer, I'm sure. Get that stuff shipped over. No, that's really cool though. That at least it's a supportive community there, even though it's small.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very support. Great, great bodybuilding community. Just yeah, small.
yeah, I understand. Now, I was curious, do you have a husband or boyfriend?
I do not.
I'm surprised by that. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. Me too. I'm definitely uh open, but it's got to be right. I don't have time for just playing. I don't have time for that. So
Sure.
yeah, it's got to be real, genuine, authentic, or move along.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm just curious about that. And I was curious, are your parents are still alive?
My parents are still alive. Yes, they're in their early 70s, and they've been married since just out of high school. They've known each other since high school.
Okay.
And actually, my dad's birthday is next Saturday, and Mother's Day is Sunday. So they're flying out here, and I've got a bunch of special stuff planned for us. I'm really excited. Actually, I can say because they're not on here. But yeah, I hired a helicopter to take us down to Hana on Maui, and we'll
Wow.
do a picnic, and then I have a driver that's going to take us to the waterfalls to go swimming, and just a really
Nice.
beautiful day. It's a nice surprise for them.
That sounds terrific. That sounds like a great day and beautiful day. Yeah, especially to celebrate his birthday too.
Oh, I know. I'm so lucky. The fact that they're coming out here for his birthday and Mother's Day, I'm just to the moon. I'm so excited.
Yeah, or yeah, his birthday and Mother's Day. That's a good point. Yeah. Now, I was curious, are they supportive of your bodybuilding career, or were they skeptical at first, or how did they feel about it?
They're always, I wouldn't say they're pro bodybuilding.
Hmm.
They're supportive of anything I do. I don't think they fully get it,
Hmm. Sure.
which a lot don't. And because of our distance, they live in California. They
Hmm.
don't really get to see the day-to-day discipline. And um, I just, I think, I think they kind of see it as, okay, well, she's good at it and it makes her feel good about herself. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of, there's a limitation to their idea of what it is. And I feel it, but they're always supportive and loving. It's just they don't fully get it. So they don't ask a lot of questions. I think my dad's scared I might get too big or, you know,
Uh-huh.
so they just don't really understand. But although they do work out. They go to the gym every morning together.
Really?
And my mom like just hits every machine in there talking to people and and then my dad, he works out. Um so that's really nice. And since he's been retired, that it's something they've really enjoyed doing together.
Okay. Very cool.
Definitely have that foundation, but I think the level that I took it, they're still kind of like, what's this about?
Yeah, it's good that at least they're loving and supportive because I know some parents that aren't. I think that's really detrimental, I think, to some of the ladies I've talked to because they want their parent support and they want to, to support what they're doing.
Mhm.
I just didn't know. I just wonder too about, parents being a little bit old fashioned and like how do they feel about their daughter being in a bikini on stage? Like,
Yeah, they definitely are old fashioned in that way. They're they very strong religious background.
yeah,
They're kind of they really enjoy the Christian church thing, and
sure.
so I think there's also a level of being on a sparkly bikini on stage and getting judged for your booty
Yeah.
could be a lot for them to take in. So that could be why I think they don't ask questions because they don't want to know the answers.
I
But
understand. Yeah.
yeah, so definitely, but at the end of the day, they love me, they support me. They're just not gonna dig into it, which tells me, okay, you guys don't get it.
Yeah. I totally understand. I think that's the best you could ask for too. I mean, I think, that sounds like they still love you, of course. So, and support you in their own way, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just have a few more questions for you. I was curious, do you like to show off your muscles in public or because Hawaii has got great weather. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but do you prefer to stay covered up?
You don't really cover up in Hawaii. Uh,
No. Yeah.
I mean, I've got this on. This is the first time I've worn a long sleeve in months.
Uh-huh.
Raining today, and it's probably about 72, 75 degrees outside.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's still warm. For me, it's a little cold because we're used to a little warmer weather. But
Sure.
in terms of showing my muscle, it's kind of always showing. I'm always walking around with not much on because it's hot here.
Yeah. That's like
So
Florida too.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That makes sense too. I didn't know, do you ever have to deal with just stares or just nasty people, or did you are most people's pretty supportive or ask you questions and stuff?
Yeah, Hawaii's very supportive. Anybody that's working out at the gym who sees someone that's got muscles or um looks good, looks like they're in shape, they want to know more. They ask questions.
Hmm.
From time to time you get I've experienced men that feel, I wouldn't say threatened, but if you're lifting more than they are, there's kind of an exchange of energy that just feels um like they're almost not happy with you, uh,
Hmm.
in more ways. It's not all the time, but you get that sometimes when you get to the level of weight training, you know. But
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And that may be their own insecurities, I guess, too, maybe. You know,
yeah, most people, especially in Hawaii, are very, very supportive, positive. It's just a positive place.
yeah. Oh yeah, I bet. I'd love to visit there. I've heard it's beautiful there. Um, and it is such a beautiful environment, so yeah, it'd be neat to live there, I bet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should come. It's wonderful here.
How long have you lived there now?
It's been under 6 years, somewhere under 6 years now.
Wow. Did you end up following to move in there for work?
So yeah, I actually, after I got my master's in business, I managed a cardiology department out of state. And that was kind of my first after school career job. And I hated it. I
Hmm.
hated being the middleman. I
Hmm.
hated political bullshit. Pardon my
Hmm. No
um
problem.
uh, I just wasn't happy. And I also had stepped away from patient care. So I kind of lost the value of the job. And so I
Hmm.
realized very, very quickly this is not the position that I thought. I was just looking for upward mobility. What do I do next?
Uh-huh.
So it was a really good life lesson for me. And then uh I ended up coming to Hawaii for some contract work while I was in between what's my next steps, and fell in love with Hawaii. And then it just kind of put a lot of perspective on, w- you know, in business school, you learn about ROI, return on investment. And I was like, what's my return on happiness? Like, let's focus on that. Like, what does that look like for me? And I think
Yeah.
that um, more maturity too is trying to figure out not what your parents think you should do, not what genuinely makes me happy outside of everything else and everyone else's expectations. And
Yeah.
that's when I started really like soul searching. What will I do with this business degree? How can I make this work for me? How can I keep bodybuilding as a forefront? Because
Hmm.
it really does bring me joy as well. So just finding the
Hmm.
balance in both of those things.
True. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think that's terrific. And I like the ROH, return on happiness. That sounds like a consulting business, maybe. No, I
Really, that's what it's about, right? Just figuring out what makes you happy and just keeping that track.
hmm I totally agree with you on that. I think that's really uh, and that's good for folks here to hear that too, I think. So yeah, no, I appreciate that. Um, I just have one more question for you. I was just curious if you've ever been kind of the target of fit shaming on social media. And I'm kind of amazed that bodybuilders even have to deal with that because y'all look so good. It's like you should be celebrated, not hated. But um, that's
I
a that
I
sounds like a catchphrase right there. Celebrated, not hated.
I
Sorry,
hear
go
what
ahead.
you're saying. Celebrated, not hated. I love it. No, I've never. I'm sure it could happen and very well may happen, but it, I don't care.
Ah, very cool.
That would just fly right off me. Oh, you care enough to write something, so I'm effectual. I mean, I just wouldn't. At the core, I'm okay. You know, so
Mhm.
nothing really, no words. It just, it's not who I am. It's how other people perceive whatever's in their mind that's offensive. So that it could happen, but if it did, I'm in a good place.
Sure, I
Yeah,
understand. And there's always block and delete on social media if you have to deal with them too. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to do that.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, and I'll make sure to include your Instagram and the coach you mentioned and Big Jane down below in the comment section. And I'll get this posted relatively soon, probably later today. But thank you so much, Lyndsay. It's really a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good conversation for sure, and wish you the best with your future competition plans too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just all fun. So until it's not anymore, I'm gonna keep pressing in and enjoying the journey.
That's awesome. And you said you might come to Tampa to see Jane compete, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, I've already told her I'm gonna go to support her. So um I will be there. I'll get
That's
to see
true.
you too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll get to meet you in person. That'll be awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you. Aloha.
Take care.
Bye.